Chosen tribe, welcome in. Happy to have you here. I am so excited that I almost just burned myself about tonight's topic of practicing practical magic for beginners. Whether you are a seasoned practitioner of magic, a witch, a warlock, or you're simply interested in learning how to harness and activate your magic, welcome in because we are going to get into it tonight. If you're watching this after the live, I do encourage you to join me live every Wednesday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, so you can join the conversation live. And of course, check out the pinned comments if you're watching this after it's live, so you can jump straight ahead into the sound and breath work, or right into the lecture, or straight to the end into the exercises that we'll be doing together to harness and activate your magic, aka your superpowers. Sunny, always happy to have you here as my lovely moderator, keeping the vibration high, keeping the bots in check. No NPCs allowed, okay? Welcome in, Sebastos. Let's go. I'm very excited about this topic. As you check in, leave an emoji. Let me know how you're feeling this evening. Let me know if it's not evening where you are. What time is it? What coast are you on? What country are you in? What city are you in? Feel free to leave it in the chat. We have our hoodoo incense going, and I got some double luck with this one at the store because it's 2 in 1, two stuck together. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that burning for now. Maybe put that there to catch it just in case. All right. Welcome in, Sarah. My chosen tribe, my family is in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. I greatly appreciate your support. Let me know if you're here for this topic tonight. We're talking about magic. I know if you clicked on this title, you're ready to become an alchemist. Most of you probably already are, but we're just going to talk about some beginner practical ways to harness your magic tonight. And I will continue this series here on YouTube, and I will dive into some more intermediate and advanced practices that are more intimate and personal on the Patreon. So check that pinned comment, join the chosen community. It literally is less than 2 cups of Starbucks coffee a month. So it's a great way to have a supportive community where you can interact, share your prophecies, and be a part of a community without censorship. Okay. Happy to have you here. So, as always, we're going to begin with a bit of breath work and sound because that is part of your magic. That homeostasis, pranayama, your life force, your inner chi, your breath work. Okay. So, let me go ahead and grab my singing bowl and we're going to get to it. You hear me jingling, it's because I'm wearing my my belly dance skirt. Little bit of jingle, little bit of magic, y'all. Okay. For my women, moving your womb, moving your hips is a huge part of activating and tapping into your inner magic. I'm going to be doing a whole series for my women about moon cycles, womb healing, tapping into that sacral chakra, your sensuality, okay? Not to be confused with sexuality. Oftentimes, when we think of moving sensually, we think of the bedroom or of the male gaze, when sensuality is your birthright. It's moving a bit slower, tapping into your creative womb space, moving your hips, okay? If you're here for that, let me know in the chat. I'm really excited to be doing that over on the Patreon. I think it's about time that we tap into that sacral chakra and the power of our womb, our portal. You know, as a woman, we don't have to wait for the Lion's Gate or the 1010 or the 99 portals. We're walking portals, whether we're birthing life physically or birthing our manifestations, our creativity from that sacral chakra, that orange. And 'tis the season, right? Harnessing that sacral chakra energy. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. Thank you as well, Sebastos. Love the love in the chat. Okay, so as always, we're going to begin with 3 deep rounds of breath. And maybe you choose a mudra tonight that you would like to use. Maybe you choose this one. Maybe you allow the palms to connect as an act of receiving, being open to receiving these messages tonight. You can connect your Sin Mudra, your thumb to your index finger, whatever is calling to you, okay? Now, if you're in a safe space to do so, I encourage you to close your eyes, create your space nice and comfortably, and just allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears. Sitting up nice and tall. And maybe you choose a chakra tonight to breathe into for these 3 deep rounds of breath. And let us together take a deep inhale in through our nose, holding at the top, and sighing it out through the mouth. Once again, breathing deeply in through your nose, filling the chest, the lungs, and the belly. Holding at the top. And then with control, releasing in a steady stream back through your nose. And once more, deepest inhale you've taken all day, in through the nose. Taking an extra sip of air if you can. And let it go. Lovely. All right, I'm going to play the singing bowl for 60 seconds. As you know, we always do 3 rounds of breath. 60 seconds of singing bowl. That 3 and the 6 is the 9, the 333. Leave it in the chat if you're here for it. And of course, close your eyes if you're in a safe space to do so. And at the end of this, let me know where it is that you are feeling and experiencing this 432 hertz note F frequency. You may want to lower your volume and let us begin. Let me know in the chat where you most felt that frequency tonight. And Sarah, yes, the 369. Nikola Tesla said, if you understand the power of the 3, the 6, and the 9, you have the keys to the universe, or something to that effect. If you're into sacred geometry, numerology, you know that there is no number higher than the 9. Just begins again with the 1 and the 0, right? All right. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick run through of everything we're going to be going through tonight. Grab pen and paper so you can take notes. Some of this you may already know, some of this you may want to add to your daily practices. So, first I want to say, if you clicked on this video, welcome to the Chosen Tribe. There's going to be something here for you to harness that inner magic. And whether you're an absolute beginner or a seasoned practitioner of magic, there will be something here for you. And now, as a chosen one specifically, you are often placed into karmic families and or environments that are meant to teach you a lesson. And this can manifest most often as being misunderstood, feeling underwhelmingly undersupported, being the black sheep, the scapegoat, etc. But it all equals to the refiner's fire. Much like a diamond has to be pressurized, you too, as a chosen one, go through the refiner's fire for a purpose. Now, the refiner's fire is meant to do exactly that. It's to refine and mold you into the greatest version of yourself, to guide and to help you to fulfill your life's mission in this incarnation or in this lifetime, not in the next one, this one. So once you realize this is your truth as a chosen one, it's much easier to become an alchemist of your current circumstances. So, in other words, you're going to be transmuting and catalyzing those lower frequency vibrations and emotions into a higher vibration to attract and manifest into your life what it is you need to move forward on your path. So, remember, as the alchemist, you create your reality. So, please leave it in the chat. I create my reality. Whether you attract in things that are good or bad, know that you, as that alchemist, called that experience into your life to better you, to make you stronger, to increase your clairvoyance or your special gifts, your superpowers along your path. And while we can't control others, family, friends, etc., what we can control is how we choose to react to that situation. And this allows us to remain in our power, and that is a huge part of your magic. So, becoming a master of your emotions, I talk about it a lot on this channel because your emotions are simply energy in motion, aka your magic in motion. So, if you didn't check out my live from a couple weeks ago, do check out how to protect your magic or defensive magic. I did a whole live on that. Hopefully, you have your pen and paper. And let's first just break down what your inner magic is to better understand for beginners. If you already know, that's fine, but this is going to be for those who clicked on this because they're new to it. Welcome in, the real furious Pharaoh. Sarah said she felt that frequency in her third eye and sacral. Yes, love it. Is return to sender a form of magic? I would say that's a form of defensive or protective magic. Many times it's your spirit guides and your ancestors blocking any dark magic sent your way. So, as I said, let's break down what your magic is for those of you who are curious. Your magic, in simpler terms, is your energy. And your energy is your magnetism plus your electricity. So, your magic is magnetism and electricity equaling magic, aka your energy. You get your electricity from the sun, you get your magnetism from the ley lines that run beneath the earth. We magnetize through our heart space, through love, moving in love instead of fear, and making decisions based out of love. As corny as that may sound, I want you to really take that and begin to make decisions in your life based on that. Am I making this out of, am I choosing this path or this job or this career out of fear of failure, fear of judgment, job security, fear of losing things? Or am I choosing this because it really speaks to my path, my spirit, my love, my inner world? And now, intuition is going to be a huge part of what we talk about tonight, because your intuition is a belief and a trust cultivated within oneself through intention and repetition. So, intentional repetition, if you will. Now, the biggest piece of advice I have to anyone who's new to magic is don't be afraid of rituals. Okay, ritual is the alchemy, it's the transmutation and transformation of energy, both good and bad. So your ancestors, they understood the power of ritual. They looked at it as a sacred and highly spiritual and well respected science. Okay, it wasn't hoodoo, it wasn't woo woo magic. It was science, and it's much older than many of the religions and beliefs that were given to us here in the Western society, a very young Western society, might I add. So, before we dive deeper into these topics, let me give you a run through of what we're going to be doing tonight. So, first, I'm going to share with you some rituals that I incorporate into my daily life to harness and activate my magic, because the more you use it, the stronger it gets. And then we will talk about exercises to strengthen your magic. And we'll have a focus, as I said, on intuition being your superpower. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to be actually incorporating and doing a few of these exercises in real time together. So you can engage with me in the chat and have an experience of feeling your own inner magic. So I could just refer you to a bunch of books that I read, which I will share that on the Patreon as well as here. But you may not get around to reading them. And I'm a firm believer in the power of now, not tomorrow, today. So let's get into it. Daily rituals. I love it. Sarah said, my entire life is alchemy. I create my reality. Yes, honey, I create my reality. That is fact. So, as far as a daily ritual, one of the first things I do when I wake up is dream journal. Whether that's a note in my phone, a voice recording of what I've dreamt of, or physically writing it on paper, whatever calls to you, you are the master, you create your reality. But your dreams are often information if you can remember them upon waking. And usually they slip from the mind very quickly after waking. So if you reach for your phone, instead of hopping on the gram, hopping on Facebook, go into your notes and write down every detail you can remember from your dreams, because it is a way to increase your connection to the divine as well as to your benevolent ancestors. The second thing that I do, I am a lover of coffee and a lover of tea. You probably see me with a cup of tea every single live. So let me take a sip now while it's still warm. And you know that I often say your words cast spells. That's why they call it spelling. So I will grab my morning or my grand rising cup of coffee or tea, and I speak positively into the water. This can also be considered elemental magic because water is one of the elements. We'll get a little deeper into that later in this live. But I speak to my coffee whatever it is I need for that day. Maybe in business, I'm waiting to hear back from a client. Maybe some of you may be waiting to hear back from a job, or you need an increase in finances, whatever that thing may be. You don't even always have to pray for yourself. It can be for someone you love, whatever is heavy in that heart space. So you speak into your coffee using the powerful affirmation of I am. I am a money magnet. I am abundant. I am supported here on YouTube as well as on my Patreon. I am of service to many and they feel and receive my love. However you want, okay? I'm speaking just from the heart. That is a great way to start your day. That can be considered prayer. And it's also a way to be more, because we never want to be less or bless. So it's a way to be more your water, that element, what you mostly are. The next thing I do is I pray over my food. And many of you do this, but it's a great way to slow down. And if you take nothing else away from tonight's magic, slowing down is going to really allow you to tap into your intuition. It's going to allow you to better receive downloads because instead of trying to micromanage and control every little detail of your life, you're in a state of receptivity, of being able to receive from the divine, of listening to someone instead of just talking. And in conversations, this is a great tool to use. Instead of being ready to respond to what someone's saying, thinking of what you're going to say next, taking a beat when they finish speaking and then responding to what they say. It's going to make the person you're talking to feel heard, seen, supported, and it's a great way to tap into and cultivate that intuition. And it's going to it's going to increase your magnetism because everyone likes to be around someone in that high vibration. Okay. Now, the next one I do is a little bit of affirmations, which I did in the tea or the coffee, but also I like to visualize it. I like to see myself, look myself in the mirror. Some refer to this as mirror magic. Okay. So, looking into the mirror and saying that affirmation aloud. Money flows to me in all directions with multiple streams of income. Absolutely everything is always working out for me. You can take that, insert, make it your own, switch it up on the daily for how you're feeling. You don't want to just do it robotically because you read it somewhere and this is what you're supposed to say. Take it, cultivate it, use your inner magic, and make it your own. I do encourage you, I just did last week a guided money meditation on my Patreon. So if that's your cup of tea, do check that out. Now, the other thing I do is talking to my animals. Okay. Well, I have one, I have a rabbit. I speak to her, I make sure she's starting off her day well. And it's an intuitive exchange because obviously she's not speaking aloud back to me. Rabbits don't make very many noises, but she stops, she looks me in my eye, and we have an exchange. Talking to plants, talking to animals, that's a way of talking to spirit and cultivating that inner chi or your magic. A great way for beginners. Now, a quick story time with that. As I was getting her food today and walking back, I was walking with someone and a crow flew overhead and landed on the light pole. And the person I was with, or I believe it was me who said it first. I said, if you I'm like, if you mess with a real one, go ahead and caw for me 3 times. And it did it. Caw, caw, caw. And the person with me was like, okay, so they tried it. Do it 5 times. And they did it a few times, not what they asked for. So then I'm like, just to prove that I'm tapped in, if I'm a real one, call for me 4 times. Caw, 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 caw. A great way to connect with spirit is by talking to animals. Crows, birds are incredibly smart. So many animals are much smarter than we give them credit for. I think many of us would stop eating them if we knew. And that's going to lose some people in the life. That's okay. However, I wanted to share that bit of story time because it's also how you can talk to your ancestors. A lot of times your spirit guides are coming to you in animal form. And you taking the time to connect with nature, to acknowledge it, it only further increases that divine channel, okay? And increases that intuition. You said, the real Furious Pharaoh said, I am one of the many co-authors of our reality. I like that. Yes, Sarah, exactly. I love that I'm not the only one. And if you've seen those, I wouldn't say that they're tests, but there are videos where people speak to plants or to the water and then freeze it. And then you can see the one that was spoken to with positivity and love creates these beautiful symbols. The plants that are spoken to in water, grow these green, vibrant leaves and they're lush. But when you speak negatively to them, they turn brown or they don't produce many leaves, the water creates this kind of ugly, asymmetrical symbols in them. So your words do cast spells. Your words are vibrations. The English language, especially, is a vibration. Okay. Your words cast spells. That's why they call it spelling. Now, the next thing, I say it in every live, meditation. Okay. Playing the singing bowl, sound is that vibration, but slowing down and taking time to breathe, to meditate, to move your body, like I said, your hips and your womb space, to activate and to cultivate your creative center. Now, meditation is a great way just to slow down, check in with your body, and to receive downloads. You may not receive them during the meditation, but afterwards, in the following days, the following hours, within the dream state that night. Meditation is a great way, as well as yoga. I'm a yoga teacher. So I always encourage the movement of your body, the movement of stagnant and stuck energy throughout your chakras. And check the description if you're interested. I have a deal right now. If you want to book a one-on-one virtual private yoga session with me where we do breath work, sound, and movement, doesn't matter if you're an absolute beginner or an advanced yogi, I have 50% off with code Alchemy333, and you can book it virtual. So it's just us one-on-one. That is good through October 31st. Check the description, it's all there. Now, another thing I like to do is express gratitude. We hear it all the time, an attitude of gratitude. When I receive something, especially something I've been visualizing and actively trying to manifest, I give thanks. I say thank you to my ancestors. Thank you for everything I already have. And thank you for bestowing upon me this great thing that I've asked for. And if you're feeling really magical in that moment and your emotions are just brewing over the edge, you might even say, thank you, can I please have more? And now, to some, that may sound greedy, but to others, it's acknowledging that things outside of you are at work, at play, and they are acknowledging your hard work, your inner work, and your cultivation of your magic. And in you asking for more, you are expressing gratitude and thanks for something outside of you. And now, I always say nothing outside of you can ever bring you happiness like inside. It's the inner cultivation, it's your inner magic that manifests in the outer world. But there is the Most High, a creator. There are your benevolent ancestors, your spirit guides, and your spirit team rooting you on, protecting you from any evil eye or magic sent your way. And sometimes taking the time just to acknowledge that can increase your magic, your alchemy. Now, another one that is great to do is the breath work, pranayama, like we do at the beginning of every live. And this can help to move stagnant energies within the chakras. Let's say specifically you're trying to activate your third eye, your pineal gland. You're trying to receive more clairvoyance along your path, or maybe you're a fellow intuitive and you do tarot readings like me. You may breathe before going into that tarot reading with your eyes closed, but yet your eyes are looking up towards this pineal gland, towards your third eye, visualizing that light, that indigo light that's represented by the third eye, and breathing into that space, right? You may even tense your muscles, breathing really deep, and then sending that energy up to the third eye and then allowing it to travel back down. Okay, we have that Kundalini energy rising that sits, that black goo, right at our root chakra, at our sacrum. And as we elevate and we unblock and we activate our chakras, we're able to send energy through the different areas. And now, this is something I'm only going to be doing on Patreon, and it's going to be SEX magic. This is something you can do either with solo, with yourself, or with a partner, because it is a sacred ritual. Okay, whenever you lay down with someone or even with yourself, not only is that a sacred energy, but it is a sacred energy exchange. And so some people know about retention. We'll be talking about that. We also want to talk about being an alchemist of that extremely powerful energy, how you can send that energy up to the other chakras, to the third eye, and then instead of allowing it to release from the body, you send it right back down, and it builds up, it builds up over time, and your magnetism, your auric field is almost going to be blinding. The more you hold on to and harness that actual magic, the more people are going to want to be around you, and they may not know why, but you know why. Okay. If you're into that, if you're into the SEX magic and you want to learn about that on the Patreon, leave it in the chat. I'm really excited about this, to be talking about moon cycles, moon magic, your womb magic, and SEX magic. So a lot of it's going to be for my women, but men, you're going to find something there for you as well, because it is about retention. Now, next, let's dive into some elemental magic. For me, I always have the elements present during my readings and during my lives. A bit of water, a bit of fire, and I'm going to light this again now. Air through our breath work, our pranayama, and some earth with my beautiful plants that are all around the table. You can't even see them all. A little extra fire. We're going to light that hoodoo incense. It smells so divine. Sarah said, I have a hummingbird that visits every morning. She flies and covers in front of my backsliding glass door and talks to me. I love that. Hummingbirds are so majestic. Some of them in my neighborhood actually sit on the power lines, and it's the cutest thing I've ever seen, because they're the tiniest little birds on these large power lines. Um, I that resonates with me, because I do feel like they talk to me. Same with butterflies, hummingbirds and butterflies. Sometimes I feel like a true Disney princess walking around this 3D matrix when I'm tapped in and my magic is fully activated, because the birds, the bees, the trees, they're talking to me. I'm that person that when you're driving by, flipping someone off, I'm walking and touching a tree, closing my eyes. I'm that hippie, and I am unapologetically that, okay? Now, so for the water, we'll begin with water element. One of the ways is speaking to your water, speaking life into your water. And you don't even have to speak life into the water you're getting ready to drink. You can speak life into the water that's already inside of you, because you are mostly water. You can also, the Pacific Ocean is such a great ritual place, whether it's you and a couple other people, a little coven, if you will, or it's simply you releasing flowers out into the ocean for a passed on loved one, asking for guidance from the Most High and from your benevolent ancestors, putting your feet in that salt water. Oh my goodness, it's so good for the hair, the skin, and it's just such a great cleanse of energy and reset. You can even take your stones, your crystals, and wash them in the salt water. Don't be afraid to wash your stones, okay? Sometimes you can, not always when we're touching our stones are we in the best vibration. And so sometimes the stones aren't there to magnify our energy, but to absorb what's not serving us. And so I would say monthly, within the moon, the cycles of the moon, allow your intuition to guide you, but cleanse your crystals. Allow them to start anew, much like Mother Earth does with the trees shedding their leaves, being bare, and then starting again. Same way that it hurts me to prune my plant babies, but I know that they thrive and they will flourish if I trim them off, much like the ends of your hair. So you can also do this if you don't have access to the ocean or salt water. You can make a salt bath, or if you don't even have a bathtub or one that you can bathe in, you can just do it in the shower. Play some high vibrational frequency music, maybe a guided shower meditation, and move with ease, move with sensuality. As I said, your sensual nature is about tapping into the senses. It's not always about sex. It's not, the time to be sensual isn't just in the bedroom. It's when you're bathing yourself, being grateful for these hands that prepare your food, being grateful for the skin, the largest organ on your body. Every body part, as you lather it with love. Don't scrape at the skin and I'll hurry up because now I got to get there. Make your life a moving meditation. And it's one of the greatest ways to activate and transmute energy, but to activate your inner magic. And that slow down is key. It allows you to slow down, to appreciate your body, to express that gratitude, and create an open and divine channel to receive more divine guidance. Now, that's the water elemental magic. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a series about this on Patreon. So I do encourage you to join there because I can't talk about all of this in one live. The next would be the fire, the element of fire, lighting candles, okay, burning incense, Palo Santo, bay leaves, or sage. You can even get candles of specific colors, especially those of you who study altars or the orishas. Maybe if money is what you're looking for, you might light a green candle. If you're looking for purification or purity or to call in a certain orisha, you might burn a red candle or a white candle, okay? Yellow to activate that solar plexus, that inner power, that confidence, much like this mudra, this power mudra. You see many people, Bill Gates, not that I'm saying you should be or want to be Bill Gates, but many people in positions of power, when they're harnessing that energy, they're touching these points. You might even get a copper bracelet, okay? Because it magnetizes the blood, it magnetizes your energy. Because what is your magic? Your magic equals energy, and energy equals your magnetism plus your electricity. So the more magnetic you are, the more electric you are, the more you're going to attract people in. Blueberry said, "Are you a therapist?" I am not a therapist. I am many things. Okay, it's hard. It's hard to answer that question. I am an alchemist. I am a magician. I am a philosopher, a writer, a yoga teacher, a doula. Okay, a sovereign being and a free thinker. First and foremost. Happy to have you all here. If you're enjoying this and you're here in the chat, don't forget to give a like. It's a great way to support the channel. Now let's move on to the element of earth. Furnishing your home with plants, speaking to them, caring for them. You may even name your plants. All of my plants have names, so they know when I say that name, I'm talking to them. For some of you, especially if there's an area of your life that you're trying to initiate to get off of the ground, you may even get a new plant and name it after you. So every time you're watering that plant and you're speaking life into that plant and you're fertilizing that plant and you're pruning that plant, it's all a reflection of how you feel about yourself. A lot of the times, how we show up, how we look to the world is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves, how we move through this life in our vehicles, because I am not the body, I am the spirit. I understand and overstand that. However, I do understand that this body, this vessel, is my vehicle for this human experience. So taking care of it, moving it, filling it with high vibrational foods. Most of us would never pour the things we drink onto a plant. Most of us take, not most of us, some of us take better care of our cars than we do of ourselves. We put better oil in our cars than we put food in our bodies. We do maintenance checkups and oil changes, but we don't do the same thing for ourselves. So, a great way to start, and that's the last element here, would be the air. Even if you're, this is especially if you're an absolute beginner, start every day when you wake up with that dream journal, as I spoke about, and then you take 3 rounds of breath, intentional, eyes closed if you're in a safe space to do so, and do that in the grand rising, in the AM, as well as at night before you go to bed. And feel free to implement it anytime throughout the day when you're feeling tense, tight, or anxious. Notice, like, am my shoulders, are they up high? Can I relax? Is my breath on autopilot? Can I send more oxygen into my cells, into my blood? How can I nourish myself in this moment where I'm feeling a little out of homeostasis? As I said, if you're a chosen one, you're often placed in karmic situations and environments, whether that's your job, your family, um, a karmic ex who's, maybe you still have to maintain some type of relationship with them because you share children together. And so anytime you find yourself a little tight, a little anxious, a little not in your magic, remember to breathe. People laugh when you talk about breath work. People are like, I don't need a breatharian. I don't need breath work. I breathe every day, otherwise I would die. But the truth is, most of us breathe on autopilot. most of us are not intentionally breathing. We're not breathing to nourish ourselves and nourish our bodies to our highest vibration. Yes, Sunny, that deep breath is everything. You know, when your shoulders are tight, and a lot of you, if you'll notice you carry tension here, that's a reminder to let those shoulders free. For my women as well as my men, that back pain and that hip pain you feel, it's from not moving that body. Okay. Joe Pilates, if you don't use it, you lose it. They say a man or a woman, he said, a man or a woman is only as young as their spine. If your spine is old and you're 35, you're old. If your spine is young and you're 55, you're young. Your body is constantly giving you signs and signals about your inner magic. I call it the stop and breathe moments. It's vitally necessary for me every day. I love that you know how vital, and that's what it is, vita. When we talk about vitamins, it's vital, um, even when you hear Jamaican saying, I eat ital foods, they're talking about vital foods, vita, life, vitre en français, okay? So your life force, your inner chi, your energy is your magic. That is a great way. Okay, so now we're going to get into the exercise portion. Things you can do at home, things you can do with a partner, even with one of your children or with a friend. And then we're going to talk about some individual exercises you can do all on your own. And I love to bring this up because kids are going to have fun with you when you do this, because so many of us have so much magic as children, but society and the matrix kind of zaps that magic out of us with all of these programs and expectations of societal norms. And it really drains us of our innate abilities and energy. Like you see babies, they're super flexible. But as we go on throughout life, we lose that malleability, we lose that flexibility due to not using it. The same thing happens with your magic. Your imagination is a great way to cultivate your magic as well. So, one of the things you might have done as a child is with your friends, all right, how many fingers am I holding up behind my back? You know, how many fingers am I holding up? And then they're like, oh, three. Yeah, I was. So that's a great one you can do with anyone. Um, we're going to do one right now together. So I'm going to grab a stone from over here. It's in here in my right hand. Now I want you to use your intuition to gauge what color you think this stone is. And I'm going to give you 4 colors to choose from. Okay, this is a great way to start instead of just saying any color on the color spectrum. Choose from the colors blue, yellow, purple, or orange. Take a moment. When you're ready and you think you know what color it is, go ahead and leave it in the chat. Let me know what color. Sunny, yeah. Grandpa energy, right? I can always tell I need movement depending on how my hips are. Moving forward. I'll never hell no heaven. I'm not even sure what you meant by that, but that's okay. Okay. I'm going to reveal the color. Purple. And now don't get discouraged because purple is really close to blue, okay? Purple is very close to blue. What I love about this, and the same thing goes for any practicing of magic, don't don't get discouraged. Astral travel, you probably aren't going to leave your body on the first out of body experience attempt. There's going to be many failed attempts. All of this is to, just like most people can't do 100 push ups, but if you did 100 push-ups a day in intervals for 100 days, eventually you would get there. Same with intuition. It is a muscle. The more you use it, the more it will strengthen. So that was really good. So many of you were very, very close with that. And now, just because you didn't choose what color stone I had doesn't mean the color you chose isn't your intuition speaking to you. For everyone who said blue, that's your throat chakra. So there may be something you need to speak out into the universe this week, this month, to someone else. For those who said orange, that's that sacral chakra that we've been speaking of. We're in that October That 8th month, yesterday was technically the 8-8 portal again, because October being the octagon, it is the 8th month on the 8th day. Just something to think about. Yes, exactly. Involve your daughter in it. Kids will love to do things like this. And truthfully, kids are what keep you young. They keep your intuition, your imagination on point, okay? Paying attention to children is a great way to harness your inner magic. Getting on the floor and playing with them, not only will that loosen those hips and get rid of some of that low back pain, but it's going to really help you. Now, another thing you can do, um, and I'm going to talk, this would be with someone else, and this could be remote viewing. So you will have your partner or a friend or your child pick an object from the house, place it into a box, and of course, you're not seeing what it is, and then they're going to place that box in front of you and use your intuition. You may close your eyes, you may pull out a pen and paper and draw what you see. All of you are going to harness your magic in different ways. So figure out what works best for you and try to see if you can't remote view what is in that box. Now, I would say the hardest part of remote viewing is we're inundated with so many images and sounds every day that many of the times things from our subconscious creep in. So don't try to rationalize or logically think about what could be in that box. Really use your intuition, your gut, AKA your second brain. All right. Now for individual exercises. And we're going to be doing a little bit of this on the Patreon. It's why I wore this today. It's about that sacral chakra. Pharaoh, he chose the orange, moving your hips. I got this belt because having the sound just adds to the sensuality, my senses. Not only am I moving that womb space, that creative space, I'm getting exercise, I'm tapping into my portal, and then I have the sound and I can move sensually. Remember, women and men, your sensuality isn't just reserved for the bedroom. It is your creative birthright. Okay, use it in your everyday life when you're lathering in that shower, soaking in that salt bath. And that's a few things I forgot about. When you take that bath, get you some high grade essential oils. These are organic eucalyptus and tea tree. I have some organic peppermint, and they serve so many purposes. I make a tea tree oil, lemongrass, and eucalyptus spray. I clean my furniture with it. I clean my mats. It's a great one to spray in the air, like if something's stinky. Also, it's that lemongrass really uplifts the senses. I have it in the diffuser behind me as well. These are ways to just cultivate magic, to make your life more magical. The more you tap in and use, as foo-foo or as corny as these things may sound, they really make a difference. Don't allow yourself to lose those things. I also make a spray with just vanilla extract and water. Now, I used it in an old Dr. Teal's bottle, but I spray it. Not only is it a mosquito repellent, if you know, they're releasing all those mosquitoes out into the world right now. So not only do I put it on before I go outside, but it makes me feel sensual. It makes me feel soft and feminine, especially as someone who's, strong. I'm athletic. So sometimes I have to remind myself, just because you can lift it doesn't mean you have to. Sometimes it's okay to slow down. Sometimes it's okay to let someone else lead. Sometimes it's okay to let others help you, okay? Especially high achieving women, very highly intellectual women. We tend to think that if someone does something for us, now we owe them. But truthfully, it is your birthright to receive, okay? You have that womb space, that portal for a reason, okay? Allow that to reflect in your outer world as well. Yes, aromatherapy, exactly. So you can make sprays. I also add eucalyptus and tea tree um, to my baths with the salt. I do a little apple cider vinegar with the mother, a little baking soda, and Epsom salt with lavender. I also, if you're looking for a good way to moisturize your scalp or to get buildup off of your scalp if you suffer from dandruff, tea tree oil is great for that. It stimulates hair growth, healthy scalp. It's an antimicrobial. Sometimes if I get like a small cut, I will dilute it with a carrier oil and wrap a Band-Aid. Tea tree oil zaps that right up. So the tea tree oil is safe for the bath. The eucalyptus is safe for the bath. Do not put lemongrass in your bath, especially if you have a yoni. I learned that the hard way. If you've ever used Irish Spring soap, it's like that on 1,000. Okay. Whew. Okay. So we have 2 more exercises before we wrap up this live. I really hope you're enjoying these exercises. I hope these are practical ways to become a practitioner of magic in your everyday life. Many of you already have tarot decks. I'm a tarot reader. I don't often pull for myself, but many times I notice when I read for other people or for the collective, messages do come through for me. And sometimes discerning what messages are meant for me and what are meant for the collective is key. But if you have a tarot deck, this is a great thing for you to do. A traditional tarot deck with the cups, the pentacles, the swords, the wands, and the major arcana. And now what you can do is shuffle the deck. Let me move this for a moment. You are most welcome. Yes, I do as well. I love mixing sprays and body oils. And people are always like, you smell so good. What is that you have on? I'm like 7 different essential oils. You can make body butters from it. You know, I forage and I cut rosemary from outside, and then I pick lavender and I let them all dry, and I make sage sticks out of rosemary. If you've been following me for a while, I was selling them on my community post. If that's something y'all are interested in, I'm going to put it up on the Patreon. You don't even have to be a patron. Much like the October monthly forecast, the love forecast, the extended readings, those are for purchase. You don't have to be a monthly subscriber there. You can just purchase the individual things you like. But I've been wanting to add a product, so I think I'm going to put my rosemary sage sticks on there. And those come, I hand forage them. I pick them with colors that I feel are meant for whoever booked it or whoever purchased it. And then I give you a personalized affirmation along with it, and I mail it out to you. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. She said, yep, I make my own smudge sticks too. I mean, especially living here in SoCal, we have such an abundance of fresh fruits, of herbs. It's like, I don't even eat grapes from the grocery store anymore because I just wait for every September and I harvest the Concord grapes from one of my neighbors who shares. They're full of seeds, but when I say they stain your fingers purple blue because of all the antioxidants inside of them, great for the lymphatic system, great for drainage. And I am not a doctor, but I am a doula. I do womb healing foods, meal prep, all of that. So I'm always sharing from a place of experience and knowledge and things that have worked for me as well as my clients. Okay, I'm so great for SoCal as well. We live in one of the best places ever. All right, one flew out. So really what you don't have to do. So for this next exercise, you really just shuffle the deck, allow your energy to connect, and then face down, you're going to pull, let's say 3 cards. It doesn't even have to be 3, but 3 attempts. And what you're going to do here is you're going to try to, touching the card without looking at it, see if you can't figure out what suit it is. Is it cups? Is it pentacles? Is it swords? Is it wands? Or is it a major arcana? And as you get better at it, you might even know what's on the other side. You might be like, oh, this is the moon card. I can feel it. So without showing everyone, let's see. I'm definitely feeling swords or major arcana. Let's see what it is. Cups. I was completely wrong. See, this is why we practice. 6 of Cups. This is Scorpio energy. This is a beautiful cup to have. And look at these people in all of their divine prowess, just bucky naked on here. You know, Western society has so over-sexualized, especially the female body. Do you know that they consider the woman's breast genitalia? You feed babies with them, and you wouldn't put genitalia in the mouth of. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can show the entire breast, you just can't show the nipples, but men have nipples. Sometimes I'm so confused. So another thing you can do is you can look at all of the cards. So this is an easier beginner. Wow, the very next one was a major arcana. We also have the pentacles here. So another way you can do this is flip over the cards, see them. 6 of Cups, the devil, ooh, and the Two of Pentacles. And then, and this is kind of, this is a more beginner way. What I just tried to do was very advanced. I've actually never tried to do that myself, but many times before tarot readings, I will know a few cards that are going to come out, and I say it at the beginning so that when they do come out, it's confirmation from spirit. So we know we have the Six of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Devil, and then you just want to mix them up until you know, don't count cards, until you don't know which is which, and then grab for it and see if you know which one it is. Okay, so that's a great way to use your tarot deck. The other one is, I call them time taps. You can do this at any point during the day. When you're not actively checking your phone and you're just like, what time is it? Before you reach for your phone or look at the clock, try to guess. Try to guess what time it is and see how close you are. Another more curated way of doing this would be to set, say, a 30-minute timer, go about your daily chores. And then once you get lost in that flow state of like sweeping or doing dishes or whatever your chores are for that day, and then you remember, oh yeah, I set that timer. Before you look at it, guess what time it's on, how much time is left down to the second. Maybe you're like, I think it's on 16 minutes and 20 seconds, and then flip it over and see. As you get closer and start to realize that you can predict the time, you can predict cards, what that does is, as we talked about in the beginning, it's your intuition is a trust and belief cultivated from within in your gut or your second brain. So the more you are confirmed by the outer world about your inner world, the more you're going to get that little pep in your step and be like, yes, I am intuitive, because that is your birthright. As I said, this is an ancient wisdom. These esoteric practices are not of the devil. They're not voodoo. These are sacred, highly respected sciences that have been around for thousands of years. And they've only been lost in the recent several hundred years, especially in this very young Western society. Okay. And let me just, one of the things I said, the biggest piece of advice is that to become an alchemist, it's not just about the meditation, the visuals, the affirmations. You need ritual to amplify. It is the 3D manifestation of what you are trying to manifest. So it's kind of like someone learning to drive by going to driver's training, but they never get behind the wheel. You doing the visualization, the meditation, the affirmations, maybe the 369 method. And you're like, why is this taking so long? Because where's the ritual behind it? Where's the candles lit? Where's the element? Where are the elements? Where's you tapping into nature? Most people who are offended by ritual or think it's black magic or dark magic partake in spells every day. They just don't know that they are. If you are a fan of a sports team, if you tune into the Super Bowl, what do you think the Super Bowl represents? Not only can you see the very overt rituals that take place at halftime, but it's called a bowl for a reason, because they practice magic. They just want you to laugh at it or think that it's of the devil so that you don't harness your own inner magic, unimprison your mind, and begin to create your reality. So the Super Bowl is a cauldron. It's a witch's cauldron. And so many times we see depictions in ancient art of human sacrifice, humans being inside of a boiling cauldron as witches stir. And that's what people think witches do. The Super Bowl literally has people of opposing teams screaming at the top of their lungs, partaking in spirits, alcohol, okay, gin, and screaming at each other, screaming as if they're burning inside of a cauldron, all for greed, money, and people putting their bodies on the line. Now, I say this from a place of being an athlete myself. I work with professional athletes in yoga. If you check out my website, like I said, and you want to book a private session, I work with everyone from absolute beginners to professional athletes. You can see some of the professional athletes, prior LA Lakers I've worked with. Now I see that for what it is. NBA, I've always said, making slavery look cool since 1940s. But anyways, that's for a whole nother topic that people aren't ready for. So that Super Bowl is a cauldron. It is a ritual. They come out, they do the national anthem. The players run out of a tunnel. People are screaming inside of a cauldron, yelling for opposing teams. And guess what's happening? They're harnessing all of your magic, your energy, your inner chi. But you were taught, especially if you grew up in a religious household, that that's not of God. But if society or mainstream entertainment tells you to partake, well, you don't even question it. But if a random YouTuber tells you about your magic, well, then I'm the bad guy. I'm not the bad gal. I'm not Riri. Okay. Yes, the NFL is harvesting energy. Let's talk about it. And I struggle with that one because I love sports. I do like going and watching them live. I've coached boys basketball. I played basketball, volleyball, softball in high school. I was a pitcher in college. Like, I'm not saying this from a place of ignorance. I'm saying it because the veil has thinned for me. I no longer see the world through rose colored glasses. So, that is what it is. Sunny said, NFL has harvested my energy for sure. Yeah, it definitely does. This is the first year that as someone had it playing in the background, I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch the halftime show. I'm like, I'm not going to give up all this all of this powerful energy to the Super Bowl. In what way is this elevating me, my people, my community, the collective consciousness, if you will? Lavi, welcome in. Welcome in. It's the topic today. We're wrapping it up now, but I do hope you restart this because today we're talking about how to practice your magic, like the thumbnail and the title says. Practical ways to practice magic for absolute beginners. And if you join the Patreon, it's literally $8 a month, less than 2 cups of Starbucks coffee. I know not everyone drinks Starbucks coffee, but regular coffee nowadays is like $4 for a cup of drip coffee. You not only get to be a part of the Chosen Tribe community and have a safe space, but you get access to almost 40 extended readings and exclusive posts that I don't share here on YouTube. And it's a great way to support this free knowledge that I'm sharing here. So thank you to everyone who already has. Thank you for sharing your energy and currency with me. We're going to close out this live with one more exercise. Okay, I'm going to take my rings off for this. If you have rings on, I would encourage you to take them off. I want to give you a free sample. Call me Costco, because in sales, if you're an entrepreneur, in sales, one of the best ways to get someone to buy from you is to give a free sample. And so I'm not selling you anything except maybe joining the Patreon or booking a reading. But what I'm selling you on today is your inner magic. I want you to feel it and harness it and then take this into your daily practice. Pharaoh said, NFL doesn't feed me, pay my bills, or visit me. Right. Exactly. Precisely. Precisely. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is called the energy ball exercise. Hopefully, if you've already done this, well, we're going to practice it again. This is new for me. I've only done it twice. So I want you, when you do this on your own at home, to do it for several minutes. Really harness, allow it to rise, expand. So if you're in a safe space to do so, I want you to begin. One of the greatest things is to close the eyes, because the eyes deceive you. What do they say? Only believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. I think I totally mutilated that statement, but you know what I'm getting at. Okay. So what we're going to do is palms together. We're going to close our eyes and we're going to start to rub our palms together. I want you to start to feel that energy, that warmth between the palms. Really get it going until you feel a nice tingling, warm sensation between your palms. And then separate your palms, still facing each other, maybe just a few inches away. And I want you to imagine, to feel a radiant, glowing ball of energy between your palms. And as you inhale, that ball of light grows brighter. And as you exhale, it contracts and condenses, getting smaller, but still powerful. And continuing this on at your own rhythm. As you inhale, feeling that radiant light expanding between your hands. And as you exhale, it growing smaller You may even feel your hands slightly moving from this energy ball. And as you continue this, especially if you do it for several minutes, you may start to feel that energy ball expanding, tingling up your arms, your shoulders. Growing so big that it eventually becomes a golden glowing light surrounding your entire body, but harnessing all of its power from just between your palms. Maybe this light is so powerful that it expands out through the room you're in, the home or the building you're in, all the way out into the streets, through your neighborhood or your city. Reminding yourself of your magnetism, your electricity, and your auric field, and just how powerful you are. Go ahead and open your eyes. I encourage you to try that on your own at home. Rub the hands together for at least 30 seconds. Try to continue that breath work of expansion and contraction of that energy ball for several minutes until you feel it start to take over your body. I would call this the energy ball exercise. And this is the last one of the night. So we started with more simple ways to apply magic in your everyday life, daily rituals, how to be an alchemist as a chosen one. And as that golden glow comes around, be specific and intentional when you do this. If there's any blockages in your life or any negativity that you're trying to clear it away, when that light expands out, allow yourself to release it. Yes, you said I felt heat transfer back and forth between my palms. Same. The very first time I did it, when I felt the ball glow, it literally felt like it was pushing my hands out. And then as it contracted, I felt them slightly pull in, whether or not my hands were actually moving and it was all in the mind. But what that tells you is you are magnetism and electricity. Your magic is energy. Your energy comes from your magnetism and your electricity. Just like a muscle, the more you use it, the more it's going to strengthen and increase. Okay? Please do check out the description, check out my past live where I talk about how to protect your magic, defensive magic, if you will, against monitoring spirits, things that try to deter you from your path as a chosen one. Um, if you're interested in a private reading, that's all there in the description. As always, I would love to have you as part of the Chosen Tribe community. We're going to be making all of October about being the alchemist, your magic. Okay, we already have a money meditation up there. We have extended readings, monthly love forecast. I don't do love here on this channel. So if you want love tarot, just dropped a reading 2 days ago on the Patreon. Great way to support me and all of this free knowledge and energy. Support my magic here on YouTube. Everything here is free. So, of course, only if you feel inclined, but I would love, love, love to have you there. 1111 in the chat, 11 people, 11 likes. If you were here and you gained something from it, leave a 333 or an I create my reality. That was not an Illuminati thing. So let me do it like this. I create my reality. And don't forget to like on the way out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Sarah, Lavi, Sebastian, Sunny, my lovely moderator, the Real Furious Pharaoh. I don't think I missed anyone. DJ Money, I see now, said I was so beautiful. Banzu, thank you all so much. I hope to see you in the next live. We'll be doing some tarot on Saturday. Always live every Wednesday and Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see you there. Until next time, I am sending you peace, love, and elevation in magic. Namaste and Ase.